Hey class, Absolute 5 here again. So today I was thinking about something interesting that it's not talked enough about, and in mathematics or just in the education department in general, let's not beat around the bush here. We know that there's such a thing as good teachers and bad teachers as well. So the topic will be about specifically what makes a teacher necessarily bad. So let's think about that for a second. What to make a teacher bad is, one, they don't care. They don't care about how a student, they don't care about how a student would behave, how they would feel. Like, they don't even give any attention. They are, well, most teachers that I've seen in and plus from my experience, they're drones. They don't really care. They don't give an F about how you feel. They don't care about anything. Some of them are there to get a paycheck. Not saying that I am that way. I am nothing like that at all. I am someone who will care, who will take the extra time to make certain you understand something. And not only that, I also, right before I finish a topic, I always ask my students, do you have any questions? Because once I move on, that's it. I don't go back. So I give them, I ask them twice, so they make certain that if they have a question they are unsure about, they could ask me during class, or if not, I have my office hours where students can actually come see me one-on-one. So understand that by not showing love and caringness to your students, you will not get that back from the students. As a teacher standpoint, you will not get that back at all. Now, I would say the next thing that makes the teacher bad is respect. You, as a professor or as a teacher or as some form of educator, you need to give the students respect. Why? Because if you don't give them respect, how will they give you respect in return? Because that's how it normally goes. Now, granted, there are situations where you do give respect and students are still bad, then that's on the student. Then that's different. Now, the thing is, how do I give respect, or how does one give respect? You address them by their name. You don't say, oh, this student, or you, her. No, you don't say that. You identify them with their name that they were given by their parents. You identify, it's a form of respect, and it's a good surprise for the students too, because they are able to react in such a way. They say, oh my goodness, he actually said my name, or she said my name. And that it's just doing that one little thing shows a sign of respect. Also, when you take the time to talk to them one-on-one about their progress through their grades, how they're feeling, like just talking to students is so powerful. You'd be surprised that by just asking them, hey, how do you feel today? They might feel terrible, they might feel horrible, they have bills, their house might have burned down, they're homeless, they are working 3 jobs and still coming to class, but giving them the opportunity to release their tension is so helpful for students, because then they realize he or she as a teacher understands me, they get me. Number 3, trust. Back to what I was saying about talking to your students, it gives them a sign of trust that, you know what, I can tell him about this information because he cares, she cares. And that they are able to they do not come across as somebody unfriendly. They're more of a mentor, or depending on the situation, a teacher can also become like a parent to the student. But in college, it's more like mentorship, more or less. I like to see it as not parent and child, because most people have their own parent and child. Not all of them, but most. Now, not only that, trust is also helpful for when a student is studying, because when a teacher gives trust to the students, they are going to get the trust back. When I say this, I'm talking about them studying, them passing, because you, as a professor, you assign the students assessments, tests, quizzes, homework, and the trust is you will do the work and you will turn the homework back on time and also do the quiz, as that proves that you've studied. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean, oh, because I didn't study, I failed, that means you don't trust me. No, it's not that. That's where the talking and the communication is so key, because when you talk to a student, you want to work with them in every way possible to help your students. There should be no reason why a student shouldn't feel the need to trust a professor or a teacher at all. There should not be an issue with that. Issue number four that makes a bad teacher is not setting the standards. Now, what do I mean by that? Day one is very important, because that's your first time your students are going to get an impression of you. They're going to see, is this person weak? Can I walk all over you? Or is this person here for business? And most of the time, you want to set the standards high day one, because you don't want to be treated like a doormat. And when you set the standards high, you are setting the bar so high that the students need to try their best to come at your level. And if the bar is too high, then you could lower it just a little. Don't kill the students now with too much homework now. The point is you want to make certain that the students are able to understand day one, not day two, not at the end of the semester. That's way too late. Not even the next day. The next day is too late. You have to let them know day one, that first class, how the class is run, how things are done in your classroom. Make it your classroom, and that's it. Doesn't matter how so-and-so does it. Doesn't matter how that person does it. It matters how you do it, because the students chose you to help them learn the mathematics or whatever subject that you're teaching, to help them comprehend the subject. They come for you for guidance. So it's very important that teachers need to take that responsibility. Granted, I know a lot of teachers have a lot of responsibilities, as is. I'm learning this as I'm going on. Which leads me to that fifth point. Being responsible. Now, when I say that, most people will look at me like, oh, what's the responsibilities a teacher has to do? We have to do so many things. I can't tell you everything because that's against policy, but I can give you a good idea how my session goes. So I'll tell you how I go. I arrive to my class half an hour before the students even come in, or before the class even starts. That's the standard I set for myself. Why? Because then I tell the students, you have no excuse to be late, because I'm here half an hour early. Why? Because I want my students to ask me questions, to understand that I'm here for you half an hour early. I'm giving you my time. And if you don't ask any questions during that time or even afterwards, and also I stay after half an hour after class, by the way, that's your fault as a student. You do not take advantage of your teacher. That's your own fault. You need to realize that if I'm extending myself that much for you, you have to do the same. And not only that, being responsible, because this has happened. I've seen other teachers come late, give homework late, quizzes are late, even lateness on the final, meaning they take, we'll just wait till the last day to submit the grades. We don't have to do it right away. You don't know how much anxiety a student gets when they complete a final. Why? Did they pass or not? And you're just sitting there on your ass, probably drinking coffee or just doing nothing with your life, And this poor student is having so much anxiety because you are so lazy not to finish the grading. Now granted, I don't speak for all teachers. There are some teachers that are very responsible. They submit the grades on time. I do my best to make certain that I submit the grades on time. And if I could, I don't do this all the time, but if I really like a student, I might actually just message them on some platform to let them know, hey, look, you passed, you know, and that's it. You know, I don't have any other conversation with them. The point is that I'm making is that being responsible as a teacher or as a professor or just as an educator, period, you need to be responsible. If that wasn't drilled enough in your head when you went to get your master's degree, I am cementing and I lost the word. Cementing and crafting this in your head that you are responsible. You are the dictator in the classroom. You dictate what happens. You do everything in your power to make certain that every single student passes. There's no excuse. There is absolutely no excuse why most students cannot pass the course. I'm not saying all. I want to say all, but I can't. So, I want you guys to understand that this video is very powerful, and I hope this was helpful to identify 5 reasons what makes bad teachers bad. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share, like, and subscribe to this channel, and also if you want further notification from me, be sure to hit the bell button beside the subscribe button. Okay, this has been Absolute 5. I'm Roger Palomino, and math is infinite because there are infinitely many possibilities.